Welcome to Breakfast Central. Today is another day and we are back on the air to bring you the latest stories that's been definitely making the headlines here in Nigeria. And of course, as time permits, we will also ensure that we take it outside of the shores of Nigeria. But then again, if you just tuned in, welcome. My name is Joe Hansen.
My name is Olive Emodi. Welcome and thank you very much for joining us. As usual, we always want to hear what you think about every subject matter, everything that we're discussing on the show. And we do that by involving you when we open the phone lines during the newspaper review segment. Also, we want to get your tweets. So tweet at us at X. But very importantly, on YouTube, which is where I kind of like to go and visit to get your feedback, visit us on YouTube. We're streaming live on News Central TV Live. Drop your thoughts, and during the show, at different intervals, I'll be very happy to read out your comments. But how are you, first of all?
Well, we're keeping up. We're pushing. That's what it is. I did speak to a few persons yesterday, and I said, listen, there were a few complaints here and there, and I said, see, you must take care of your mental health. This is a time where we're getting too much negative stories online. And it seems like it's coherent. It seems like it is just targeted at every, you know what the feeds do. Once you take a look at any story that's got to do with insecurity, the next thing that happens to your feed is...
So the algorithm
interprets
that as, oh, this is the content that you like, and then it starts to push that kind of content.
It looks at what you look at, it looks at the time you spend on it, it looks if you open and read comments, it even looks if you like or share or retweet. It says, okay, this is what this person likes. But the stories have been heart, I'll say, wrenching. They've actually been bordering on few things that everyone is talking about. But the good news is, we did get some releases yesterday, and we got another attack again. And Olive, it baffles me that there's no how we're going to come here on Breakfast Central and not talk about these things.
So it obviously looks like it looks very deliberate. It looks like a plot to destabilize our country, a plot to ensure that, I think the adrenaline that the terrorists get is from seeing it making the news. Unfortunately, we cannot but talk about it. So with every time that we talk about it on TV, it feeds their dopamine and emboldens them to want to do more, especially because we haven't seen strong consequences, punitive measures being meted out against the perpetrators of this crime. So that really is the big challenge there. But speaking about the releases that have been carried out, abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School in Maga, Kebbi State, have been safely released after several days in captivity. Their freedom was secured through a non-kinetic operation led by the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Department of State Services, involving dialogue rather than force. The November 17th abduction, which resulted in the tragic loss of a staff member's life, sparked widespread concern and prompted an intensified military search. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the release of the girls, commending security agencies for their efforts and urging intensified operations to rescue remaining captives. Meanwhile, terrorists have launched fresh attacks at a Sapa community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State yesterday night. They have abducted a pregnant woman, 10 children, 2 nursing mothers, and several others. Also, bandits have allegedly abducted at least 8 persons in Biresawa village of Shayanwa local government area of Kano State yesterday. So you see, it's consistent, targeted. Unfortunately, we see that they are the soft targets, women, children. These are very easy targets that they prey on. And I go back to a conversation that we had, or a question we asked yesterday. We're overjoyed, we're excited and glad to have secured the release of these girls, to secure the release of these persons. But one question a number of Nigerians have asked is, how were they released? In an interview, Bayo Ononuga had mentioned how the government had asked them to release these victims, and that the bandits released it because they understand, that when the government speaks, the world shakes and, you know, thunder rumbles. And of course, people are not buying that. Those are not his exact words. I'm just adding a bit of satire to it. So the question is, what happened? Were these people arrested? Were the terrorists arrested? Are the terrorists gaining ground against us? Because if we're doing the whole non-kinetic approach, we're doing the whole negotiation methods, and I would say we do whatever we need to do to get humans out, because every single Nigerian life matters. But we keep doing that, and then the next question is, when next? It almost feels like by the time we're discussing one, they're plotting to execute another one. And it's really just sad. I don't know if we can say we're winning the fight yet.
It's a tough one, Olive, but before we highlight more, let's get to see what the girls had to say. We do have a few footage to show to you, and then we'll also see what the Brigadier General who had secured the Kebbi Schoolgirls release also has to say. Take a look.
Okay, Bismillah.
My name is Zainab from SS3A.
Okay, student of?
TGCS manager.
Okay, number 1, Kenanko?
Yes.
You?
Kebbi Schoolgirls release also has to say. Take a look.
From TGCS.
Okay, number? Number what?
Three.
Okay.
TGCS SS3A.
Okay, you? Okay. Number what? Number 4. You number?
6.
Number 5.
5.
Okay. Who is the next number?
6.
Okay. Your name? The next number? Number what?
Number 7.
Number 5.
Okay.
Call your number first. Number what?
Number 8.
Next one. The next number.
Number 10.
Okay. Call your number first. Number what?
Number 8.
Number 12. Stand up. Class. Next one. 13. Who is 13? Who is 14? 15. Number 16. Okay, 17. 18. Who is 14? 19. 15. 20. Number 16. 21. Okay, 17.
I, Brigadier General M. Jima, the Commander, 1 Brigade, Nigerian Army.
19.
For the past 9 days, concerted efforts
20.
have been made by all the security agencies and the Nigerian Army to rescue the school children of government secondary school, government girls secondary school, Maga, in Dako Forest, in Bagega, in Anka local government area of Zamfara State. And the Nigerian Army, thank you.
All right, there you have proof that the 24 girls who were indeed abducted have been released. So they've gained their freedom. And you did see the military and the team who put in effort to ensure that they were released. However, there are a few questions, and the questions are what we're going to highlight. But it's good news. I think we should wake up to this good news that there's a positive development. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has welcomed the freed Kebbi Schoolgirls. He put out a tweet on X, or better still, formerly Twitter. And he went on to congratulate and also shared his happiness with the fact that the girls have been released. But that's not all. This is what he said through his senior special advisor, Bayo Ononuga. President Tinubu welcomes the freed Kebbi Schoolgirls, charges the security forces to rescue others still in captivity. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the release today of the 24 schoolgirls abducted by terrorists in Maga, Kebbi, last Monday. Terrorists struck at the school at dawn on November 17 and abducted the girls moments after a military detachment left the premises. It also goes on to say the Kebbi incident triggered some of the copycat kidnappings in Eruku in Kwara State and Papiri in Niger State. All 38 kidnapped victims in Eruku were freed on Sunday. The same day, the Niger State chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria said 50 of the missing students of the Catholic school in Niger have been found in their parents' home.
Do they mean found in their parents' home or found and in their parents' home?
Anyway, found, yes, and then they said they were in the parents' home. Found and found in. found in their parents' home,
Because
meaning that
I want to imagine that that's a mistake.
Okay. Anyway, President Tinubu applauded the security agents for all the efforts made to secure freedom for all the victims taken away by the terrorists. And of course, he goes ahead to highlight the president's statement there in quotes. I'm relieved that all the 24 girls have been accounted for. Now we must put, as a matter of urgency, more boots on the ground in the vulnerable areas to avert further incidents of kidnapping. My government will offer all the assistance needed to achieve this. End of quotes, President Tinubu said. Well, that's the update. The governor, we do hear, also did make a statement. Let's see if we can also take that footage and share here with you. End of quotes, President.
And all of them are in good health.
Well, that's the update. The governor, we do hear, also did make a statement.
They are on their way coming to the state capital. And let me seize this opportunity on behalf of good people of Kebbi State to thank Mr. President for his concern of Kebbi State. Because since the abduction, Mr. President is off and going to ensure that our guests who have been rescued, and also to seize this opportunity to thank the security agencies, the police, the DSS, the military, the civil defense, and all other security agencies for being alive to their responsibility. They didn't take Mr. President order lightly. And since the abduction, they have been following what is happening professionally to ensure that they need the needful, and they have done the needful.
Well, that's the current governor of Kebbi State, His Excellency Mohammed Idris, speaking there, welcoming the girls for coming back on Scarf. But what happened to the security man who was started to have been killed in the process? What happened to the one who was injured? The third question is, what method was used in releasing the girls?
I think that's the one that everyone has been asking.
That's what everybody was asking, because there was a video also circulating showing the armed bandits with guns talking on the phone, you know, and speaking with the girls. And everyone is wondering, okay, why are they recording it? Is this some form of documentary they're trying to put together and so on?
It may also be a show of power to let you know that, look, your government is maybe, I mean, they're trying to paint a different picture from what the government is doing. You know how it's like trying to sow a seed of discord and a seed of mistrust. So that might also be what it is. We've seen that bandits and terrorists, they've used social media. They use social media almost as much as the everyday citizens.
They even highlight their location now, Olive.
Yeah, they highlight their weapons, they show their money. So it's not a surprise to see that they use social media to share videos. It's part of their mechanism for intimidation as well. It's not just them being able to come and threaten and kidnap and kill people. Social media is how they spread that fear as well. But like we say, we're glad that the girls are back. And it feels like +2 - 3. That's really how it feels.
Well, it's tough. And still talking on insecurity, which happens to cover the major part of our wake-up conversation this morning. Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, has also decided to meet with security chiefs as well of the state. Now, the governor decided to do this right after the Southwest governors had met a day before, where they all met and discussed to seek ways in which they could secure their territories. Now, this meeting was held equally yesterday. This was after the meeting with all the Southwest governors. But let's take a look and hear what he says.
As you say, the best time to prepare for war is during the time of peace. today Ogun State is referred to as one of the most peaceful states, if not the most peaceful states in Nigeria. It's important that we continue to sustain that position as the most or one of the most. So the best way to make sure we sustain that is to prepare to ensure that we mitigate anything that may affect that rating of ours. So this is not the first of these kind of meetings, but this meeting is a very important one to us. And that is why I have called.
Okay, so we're starting to see a lot of response and we're starting to see a lot of action, especially from the part of the subnationals and the federal government as well, which happens to be led by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who also gave a directive yesterday and said that he's going to support all the security forces, the military, you name them, that is urging them to go ahead, headlong, use whatever you need to use, and ensure you comb the bushes, the forest, and do what you need to do. Now, we're going to wait to see if that instruction or that command, as it were, because he's the commander, so he gives a command, if that command will actually be honored starting from today, because it needs to be at least 24 hours before we can review, not just as journalists, but of course as citizens, as Nigerians, to see if there will be any form of implementing that command. But that's exactly what we're going to look at. Olive, it's been back and forth. While all of this was happening yesterday, we did hear as well that there was a repelling of another attack that was about to happen in Kwara State.
By the local vigilantes.
By the local vigilantes. After that, few hours again, they still came back. And like you mentioned at the start of this conversation, nursing mothers and so on were equally picked up. So it's starting to look like it's a premeditated event that's taking place, where it's like a plan, and it's starting to go across all the southwest states, go straight to the north, the middle belt. Now this time we're going up north, so the middle belt is having a little bit of a reprieve, as it were, breathing a little. And one will wonder ordinarily, what's next? Where is it going to come to? Remember that we also spoke here, our anchor for Politics HQ, that spoke to Mr. Gani Adams, who had said that there is a plan to ensure that the southwestern states are equally affected with all of these things.
Maybe we should actually play that.
Let's play it again so you can listen to what he had to say.
Tuesday. And what is the reason behind that press conference? We got an information on the very serious authority that we have been highly infiltrated in the southwest.
There is already an infiltration.
Infiltration.
By who?
By these terrorists in most of the communities in Yoruba land. You know, Kogi and Kwara, just like a buffer zones to southwest. And what they are doing in Kogi and Kwara is just a test of ground to start the major attacks in the southwest. The information in our disposal is that they want to attack Oyo, Ekiti, Ondo, and Lagos State.
So we're looking at bit by bit, we're looking at the timelines of every single thing that has happened in the past 48 or 72 hours. And that's Chief Gani Adams. Is the Are Ona Kakanfo of Oyo State. Kakanfo, I try to always get that right, of Oyo State. Speaking there and highlighting that they got from the grapevine, from authority, that there is a plan, a strategy. So the question would be to our viewers, how do you think, or how do you feel saying that the federal government and the state governors are now on their toes and responding to the security threats? It's no more just talking. It's now a case of show working. So every state governor is having a meeting with the security operatives, their chiefs, and then there's a video to document that, listen, we are doing the work, we're doing what we need to do, we're reacting. We just want to see what these reactions will lead to. But Olive, as I pass the mic to you, the final point is Nigerians are asking, what is happening to these terrorists?
Yes.
Is it a case of just negotiating and getting the girls back?
And then
are we
forgive
still
him. He
applying
says forgive him.
kinetic or non-kinetic? And what is that going to do in the long run to Nigeria's security architecture, looking at the fact that it seems porous right now?
I think another angle to point out is how before now, whenever we talked about insecurity and our challenges with insecurity, everybody automatically rushes to the president. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The president is in charge of the country's security. You know, they would bring up the list, the fact that security does not fall within their purview. They don't have command and control. But now, everybody has realized that it's beyond President Bola Tinubu, and they're all sitting up. In a way, I'm sad that we've come to this, but I like that the governors have realized that they have work to do and they can't sit and rest on their oars and wait for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come and fix insecurity in their state. That everybody is a collective effort now. The governors must do the work. The president must do his work, because every time they're talking about it not being within their sphere of influence, a number of them have resources. Their budget has been increased. They are getting significantly more money. What are they using this money to do?
Sure.
We can see now, Inquirer, for example, that the local police is collaborating with the police is collaborating with the local vigilantes to comb the areas looking for abducted persons, which then reignites the conversation about state police, which is a conversation that we've been talking about over and over again. Is it time to talk about state policing?
Yeah.
To talk about the role of the local vigilantes? And is there a possibility of abuse? Absolutely. We've seen that happen with certain local vigilantes or institutions. I don't know what to call them now. Community police, in some situations, some people refer to them as community police, but they're really just local vigilantes. We've seen Ebubagu, we've seen even the one in, I think it's the Hisba police in Kano or so. We've seen a number of these abuses. And what we're saying is, you can't completely throw away the baby and the bath water and say that these local vigilantes or state police has the potential to be abused, and as such we shouldn't explore it. What should happen is that we would then see what do we need to do, what structures we need to do to put in place to ensure that, because we need help. We can't work with what is currently the security infrastructure as is insufficient to deal with the hydra-headed monster that insecurity is, or insecurity has presented itself to be. So what we must then do is to look at what we have, look at what structures we need to put in place. If we're getting state police, how do we ensure that we do not encourage abuse? How do we ensure that we prevent abuse? In the current situation, we've still seen the abuse of the police, the abuse of the office of the police. Is that not what has led to the IGPs talking about withdrawal of VIPs, which is it feels like a national
policemen
anthem.
now holding food.
Exactly, national anthem being sung every morning on the assembly ground, because it's every other day they are withdrawing policemen from VIPs. If we don't have structures that show that there are that actions have consequences, that if as a policeman you err, there is a strong punitive measure that can potentially cost you your career, that will cost you your job, not just saying, oh, he erred in this division, we withdraw him from here and then they will move him to another division, post him to somewhere else. That's not punishment enough. Until we start to see, until policemen know that if I don't take my job seriously, I will lose it. Then we will not see the change that we're looking for. So that abuse that we're scared of seeing happening at the state level is already happening at the federal level.
But the fear is it may become more when it comes to the state level, Olive. But that's a conversation we're still going to have, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, well, it's part of our conversation today.
Yes, and it's something we still need to have. But then again, let's also highlight that in the spate of all of this insecurity, we need to also be careful of doing things for optics and doing things as a result of trying to show that you are active. After that invasion happened in Eruku, of course, the IGP did send some of the detectives and security chiefs to go down there from the police and investigate. And Nigerians were wondering, okay, are these really detectives because of the way they looked and the manner in which they approached the church and they were walking around it, you know? And can you see somebody with a phone and camera running around and following them? That's what I'm saying. I think we also have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. We're now starting to, this is the first time in a long while where there's a dire need, there's a push, there is a need to actually prove that, listen, we are working. And that's exactly what we're starting to see around here in different places. But then again, Nigerians have asked, are these really the security men and the detectives who walked around? They're checking the wall, checking glasses, and so on. It's good to get detailed information, but I don't think putting out a video is what everybody really needs in the state there, especially Nigerians. What people need is to hear stories that the bandits have been captured, the XYZ has happened, they've been able to do this, and so on. I think more results are actually needed as well. But then again, that's a story for another time, and that's what we're going to have in terms of looking at conversations today.
Right.
Most importantly.
It's one of our conversations today. But now let's move on to another conversation. Well, it's not another one because in some way it's related. It's an insecurity conversation. Insecurity was linked, is one of the reasons why the United States decided to step into the arena and talk about putting boots on the ground, guns a-blazing, coming into Nigeria. And there have been mixed reactions with different people taking the stance on whether or not they believe that the United States should interfere in the issues concerning Nigeria. And one of such persons is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, His Excellency Peter Obi, who has shared his thoughts on the possible, intervention of the United States. President Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
Somebody offered you something you've been looking for. It is not going to start debating. Once you say so, oh yes, me and my wife are living, we are hungry. Somebody discovered, oh, Peter Obi and his family can no longer eat. You are saying no, it's not true. And we ate in the morning, but the one of afternoon, collect the food first. And then you know how you can ration it. That's what it is. That's my reaction. What I would do, I would have gone. Even today you declare me president, I can tell you, number one priority is security of life and property. Number two priority is to put people out of poverty. Because the more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. Number three is to invest in education. It is critical for a basic education. There are millions of people out of school today. A child that is 5 years, 10 years today, did not educate, will become a terrorist and a problem for you 20 years time. So invest in him now. Now you have the opportunity. Invest in health. All these people are moving around stealing public money. They don't need it. They only bring you headache to your life. So that's my reaction to Trump. For me, it's a welcome speech, and I would have been begging him.
It didn't go down well with the current administration after Mr. Gregory Peter Obi made that statement. And the senior spokesperson to number one citizen, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, talking about Bayo Onanuga, went on X and put out a tweet reacting to what Mr. Peter Gregory had said, therefore saying it should be written down in history that he is one of those who supported an invasion of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Whether you like it or not, of course, there will be mixed reactions, and you have people who also came out to say, oh, no, we don't agree with that. We think he made very salient points, and part of it is that you need help. You're not able to counter these guys. You're not able to fight these guys. Rather, it seems that it's looking more permissive. So you need someone with a strong force that will come and put the boots on the ground and attack. On the other side, you also have Nigerians who are saying, no, we do not agree with that. Our military is one of the best, the strongest as regards when it comes to Africa. We remember the time of ECOMOG and so on. Nigerian military have shown that, listen, we can handle issues that are even bigger than what we have currently. However, it's a tit for tat, neither here nor there. There are a few persons who still believe, let's still welcome the United States. But will the United States still come? The answer will definitely be either a no or a yes. But that's left to the United States to decide.
We don't know that.
That's left for them to decide. We've seen the meeting. They've talked about it. You have a few Nigerians who have left the shores of the country. They've gone there to meet with them. They've spoken. We even had our NSA, National Security Advisor, and others who flew down to the United States to speak on the matter. So I think Mr. Gregory Peter Obi's statement has not been taken lightly. It's been taken with mixed reactions.
Well, but let's see what the reactions are. We head to X and see what Nigerians are saying about this on X. Angry Nigerian, very interesting handle. He says, we should not even be taking this country and our government seriously again at all. Suddenly, they're finding all kidnapped victims, but no record of how and what transpired before they were released. So this is in reaction to the earlier story about the kidnapping. It says, these children were not kidnapped. I repeat, these children were not kidnapped. Show me a child who passed through pains and saw agony, and I will tell you what he or she passed through. But we don't know what they passed through. We don't know whether they put them through.
They're saying so because of the way they looked, and they had this facial olive.
It's not our place to decide how they should look. So, the person that tweeted that, have they been kidnapped before? Do they know how being kidnapped? Besides their kids, okay, they are scared. You kidnap these children. They're young. You give them food, give them drinks to treat them well, and tell them, don't worry, we'll let you go. Just you sort of calm them down. I don't know that tweet applies.
Permit me to add this before we go back to the tweet. I am not 100% staying on the side of the one who tweeted that they don't look kidnapped. It is not in our position to say so. But I'm also going to toil with the professionalism of psychologists, who many of you have abroad, who study facial and human expressions. I've stumbled on a few of them outside the shores of the country, and there's some I also read online.
Except those ones.
And they will tell you, they tell you, yes, they analyze facial expressions.
No, I'm talking of these people in reaction to this video.
Yes.
They haven't done that. So we
no, they haven't. So I remember, I'm just highlighting that some of them will tell you that the facial expression of someone dictates the inner feeling of that person. If someone is sad, it inadvertently shows on the face. If someone is trying to hide something, these guys, you could check them. They're professionals, they're online, they're well paid.
I don't disagree.
And they tell you this. So when I saw the video myself, I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was like, okay, this is good. Now the president can heave a sigh of relief and say, if he has the list on his table, he can say, okay, Kebbi State cancelled, done. Let's move to the next one, you know. But if you ask these professionals, psychologists who will tell you facial expression, body movement, they'll tell you, okay, there's a little something off about the video compared to previous ones as well, where victims are rather not as expressive as it is. But then again, you can argue that, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you can argue.
You can argue that, and I can argue that too.
Because you don't know what happens in captivity. You don't know if the particular team that kidnapped these girls were not nasty to them.
Exactly.
I just thought, you know what, we're doing this. These girls are not our target. So the government is our target. So let's be kind to them. We see it even in movies where there are kidnappers who kidnap people, and then inside the kidnappers there's a caucus that is nice to the kidnapped victim, that gives them water and treats them better than the other people. So I don't think that that's a yardstick, and we should not invalidate their experience unless we have counter information to prove otherwise. Let's continue with the tweets on what Nigerians are saying. We have Shehu Sani, and Senator Shehu Sani says, the news of the release of all the abducted student girls in Kebbi State is a big relief. I have never doubted that the girls would regain freedom sooner than later after analyzing the efforts made. I wish to commend all those who led or contributed to this success. However, bandits should not be trusted. All schools should be protected. Shehu Sani said.
Well said.
Ben Rimande says, while I am relieved and happy these innocent kids are back, no arrests. Where is the deterrence to other criminals who might be considering these options? If no arrest made, no criminal was killed, their money was paid. Paying terrorists makes things worse because they'll be back.
Ben has concluded.
Says, Queen of Take says, when Tinubu swings into action, the result is always positive. As a father, he shunned the G20 summit and spoke to security chiefs while staying behind, receiving reports from the front line. Now all the Kebbi Schoolgirls are free from the hands of the abductors. Interesting.
All right. Anyway.
This is in response to Bayo. And the person, Bayo Nanuga, the person says, dear Uncle Bayo, thank you for the updates. Just to remind you that this is not an achievement, as these children were not supposed to be abducted in the first place? And it would be good if you could disclose the following. 1, how were these traumatized pupils freed? 2, did your master's regime pay any ransom? 3, if ransom was paid, as happened in Kwara, how much was it? 4, where are the captors now? 5, were the captors left alive, just as was done in the Kwara case? 6, what about the military personnel who were reportedly ordered by the compromised military leadership to vacate the school 30 minutes before the abduction took place? Where are they now? 7, what post-trauma support plans do you have for these children? 8, what are your plans to reopen the school? 9, what measures are you putting in place to prevent a recurrence? And it says, brother, ... There's an ellipsis after that. A number of questions.
Very, very.
And important.
Nigerians are very. We need to understand that until you see punitive measures taken, there are certain things that will continue. And we've said it here, time without number. I'm going to say it again, using the analogy of a rat in your house. If you have a certain rat or a type of rat in your house that comes to eat just your documents, you either take it out, you know, by using the measures which everybody uses to clean the house and ensure the rats don't come back, or you let the rat be and let him continue destroying things in your house.
You sound like you've been terrorized.
And eventually, no, I haven't. It's just an analogy that I think works very well. And then the rat eventually leaves the books and then starts going to your TV. You know, eating the cable, trying to get into the TV. That's what happens. And if you tolerate it, then you know what comes with it.
You're emboldening it to let it know that...
That's it. It will come back and it will go and bring his friends.
Your flatmate, exactly.
Because it will now become lucrative. There's a place we go to, we always eat anything there. And if we look at it from that aspect, then we need to start saying, okay, fine. While we congratulate the success of bringing the girls back, we still have more, don't forget to. We still have more that are still in captivity. What we should do now is we should expect that there will be, anyway, the NSA had released them, what's it called? From 2025 to 2030.
So it's the School Safety Initiative to let us, Safe Schools Initiative, to let us know what the plans are to secure our schools. But it's beyond paperwork. Allocating 15 billion for a year for safety, what does it cover? How many security personnel will be deployed to the school? What is the guarantee? Like, for us to be able to say we're winning this war, we should be able to say that more. So yes, that's the question. What is the metrics for saying that we're turning the curve? Because that's the favorite line that this administration likes to say, that in the fight against insecurity, we're turning the curve. What are the metrics for indicating that? Are we having fewer cases of abductions and kidnappings? Are we having more arrests of bandits and terrorists, more neutralizing of bandits and terrorists? These are the questions to ask. But let's now move from here to Delta State. A woman in Delta State has been arrested for allegedly subjecting her 3-year-old daughter to severe sexual abuse, with medical reports indicating injuries consistent with assault and signs of an infection. The arrest followed concerns raised by residents, prompting swift police intervention and the child's immediate transfer for medical care and protection. Authorities say the suspect remains in custody as the investigations continue, while the case has sparked widespread outrage and renewed calls for stronger community vigilance to safeguard vulnerable children across the country. I must warn you, this story has the potential to make you throw up in your mouth. But let's take a look. We must have this conversation.
They are abusing her.
In what way?
Touching her vagina.
You touch her vagina too?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that her hymen has been broken, that she's no longer a virgin at 3?
Yes, sir.
You are aware?
Yes,
Whose
sir.
child is she?
She's my daughter.
When did you give birth to her?
October.
October when?
21st.
Okay, it's okay. How long have you been practicing this with your daughter?
Since 8 months.
Okay, openly, naturally, just tell me, do you practice lesbianism? Is a yes or no
sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So is that why you are practicing it with a little girl of 3 years?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what fun and pleasure do you derive from it?
Nothing, sir.
Huh?
Nothing, sir.
Please, now that you are here, just tell us how you feel.
I feel so bad. I feel disappointment.
I'm not saying you like someone that is actually
feeling so bad. Yes, sir, I feel. I'm so disappointed. I'm not supposed to be a mother.
You are aware that at 3 she's no longer a virgin?
Yes, sir.
Have you been informed that she tested positive to sexually transmitted disease?
Yes, sir.
STD?
Yes, sir.
And you are aware that she has injury on her vulva?
Yes, sir.
So do you think this child should be left with you or should be taken away from you?
No, sir.
What do you think? What do you want them to do with the child?
I want them to take her away from me so that I'll work on myself. I promise to be a better mother.
But I'm better mother from the society or from prison?
From the society.
You don't want to be charged to court. You don't want to go to prison.
No, sir.
Are you aware that you are accountable for everything you do?
Yes, sir.
The law does not believe in this kind of mercy you are seeking. You have assaulted, sexually assaulted an underage. Not just that, in Nigeria as a country, it is not even permitted by law. We got another disturbing report where the father of a 3-year-old child who had the baby with a lady is not yet married to came to the station and reported that he came across a video where the mother of his daughter was having sexual intimacy with the 3-year-old daughter. That is a mother practicing lesbianism with her own daughter. We are bringing this to you so that we understand the societal vices and how to come together collectively.
Nothing has made me as sick as this video has. You know, it's depraved. I don't know what to say, Joe.
Nah, you know, I keep saying it. When people shout that I want to be a journalist, it's a tough nut to crack. It's a tough job.
So,
because the things you hear and you see, I mean, we must give kudos to many have attacked CSP Bright Adafe for always doing these videos, and I want to commend him. I think while he was on breakfast the last time he came, we commended him and said, well done. The commendation is for the fact that this is what is needed in the society going forward. I keep saying it. It is not enough. We have a completely broken down, morally, name it, a broken down society. And when he does these videos, it doesn't just serve as enlightenment, it also serves as an educational video where people can watch and get an insight into understanding what is going on within their society. It also serves as a wake-up call. Because right now I can tell you that some parents would turn around and look at their children and start to imagine, okay, where do I drop this child whenever I go to work? Am I sure my child is safe? So it's like a wake-up call to everyone. But then again,
I have a slightly different view in that regard, but
this is one of the most, I mean, we must
so,
to our viewers, sorry
about that video, but
it's something we have to
really it's a story that we had to talk about, and that was the video that could explain the story. That woman does not deserve to be a mother. She deserves to have a child taken from her, and she deserves to not have that child returned to her. She should go and ask God for forgiveness, but she should also have to face the law.
Yeah, she should face the law.
You know, and this is not, I know that, yes, we have our strong laws against homosexuality in Nigeria, but there's a line you don't cross. And the line you don't cross is, you don't bring whatever it is you're doing near children. You don't do that. You don't bring it near children. To think that we talk about, you know, the month of November from the 25th up until the 10th of December is 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
Yeah.
We're talking about activism against, you know, violence against women. This time around, it's violence against a woman, a little girl, inflicted on her, not just by any woman, but by her mother. It shows the depravity of our world. We're getting further and further depraved. Our moral compass is broken as a society.
Completely.
It is broken. When we were younger, they would say that it takes a community to raise a child. Joe, we had the luxury as children of being able to go and play suwe. Your neighbors will come, you will play, you do anything, you do police and thief, you people will hide, and you play catch-up. We had such beautiful memories growing up that unfortunately our children may not be able to have. The only thing you now have to do as a parent is either you make sure you save enough to plan for a trip for you and your family to travel abroad, or go to one resort and create memories, go to one beach to create a memory. The freedom that we had growing up to be able to interact with other children, you can't try that now. Because if you try it, there's no telling what will be done to your child. And that's what happens when the family is the smallest unit in the society. And a lot of the failings are starting from the family.
Of course.
People are not learning, to take responsibility within themselves of being able to raise good, sensible, godly people. I watched a video, and this is not related to this, but I'm only bringing up this video because it relates to our moral compass. In this video, a young man goes around doing this, their vox pop, and is asking random questions. And he will say green flag, red flag. And he will ask, he's fine, but he doesn't have money. They will say red flag. Okay. He's not good looking, but no, he's a good, anyway, he asked the question saying he has money, but his money is from Yahoo Yahoo. The girl said green flag. Not one girl, Joe. Multiple people.
We're saying green
they
flag.
will say green
It's
flag.
fine. That means
One said,
fine.
oh, she said, so long as he spends the money on me. So the means by which he gets the money,
Doesn't concern
it doesn't concern you. It's now even worse that not only are we are young girls endorsing fraud, young girls and boys endorsing fraud. They're not even hiding it anymore, openly doing it. Is why a 15-year-old boy will go and buy Mercedes Benz and bring it home, and his parents will be jubilating and be doing celebration. You cannot. When I was younger, I can't just bring things from the house.
A pencil.
My mother will ask me, where did you bring this from?
Exactly.
Who gave it to you? We don't have those anymore. Our society is failing. And it is because our society is failing, our moral compass is failing, is why women will be hearing stories of women abusing their girls. It's so sad. It's really sad. And I hope that justice will take its course and that she will have her day in court.
Let's see what Nigerians are saying very quickly on this particular story as we look to wrap up. Nice job, sir, but why are you not showing her face? Let's see the devil. If not man, he will be everywhere. Like
So let's just...
We don't know her. Make she no be person where person don't keep his or her daughter with. That's exactly what I highlighted. Or maybe she's a class teacher. She might have more cases. You see, this is a very powerful tweet. However, we must mention that her face cannot be shown, even though we are being used and bastardized with that format of someone who has been, caught in an act. You must first of all show the face. I mean, the law does not allow that.
Even when we do what we call identification parade is not identification parade as is.
Yeah.
What we do is, even with all those times when the FCC will round up young men and then show their faces on TV, those things were wrong. And I mean, just to explain that it's not legal to do that.
Yeah, we have to explain that so you get to understand, okay? Your own daughter, I'm afraid that child might never unlearn that behavior. Please, this woman should face heavy consequences for this heinous crime. 8 months, Olive. 8 to 3 years.
Some cases they were not supposed to pass through court at all. Child, they're supposed to take her to prison straight with her own money, not even government prison vehicle. Anyway, these are just reactions to that very sad story.
What a way to start
A terrible way to start the show, but a reminder to us, uncles, aunties, parents, that we have a responsibility and that fixing our moral compass starts from the home, from the family, from the individuals. We can't leave everything to the schools and to the government.
And also just to mention, please ensure that, I mean, I did hear this from people, and it's also a moral, I'd say, a necklace on the neck that simply makes it clear that you cannot really hand over your child or your daughter to other people to train.
Not just daughter.
You can't.
So
that's what I said, your son, everybody.
Yes, because they're abusing the boys as well.
That tweet just highlighted what I had said earlier on. Those who had given this woman their children and say, please, Adekomo.
Help me look at. Anyway, let's, if she can abuse her own child, is another person's child? She will not abuse.
8 months, Olive, 8 months.
Please, let's move on from this story.
Please, let's move on.
Let's share what our headlines this morning are on Breakfast Central.
Today on Breakfast Central, terrorists launched fresh attack in Kwara State. We'll look at the response and what the federal government is doing. Southwest governors meet, demand state police, and also you did see Governor of Ogun State meeting again yesterday. We'll also look at Nigeria's plans as they move from open grazing to ranching. That's the directive given by the presidency. Reps on rising insecurity, they're speaking, they're talking tough about shutting down and focusing on insecurity. And newspaper front pages will be here. You can be part of the show.